For this film, we showcased Bourne's bare-knuckle boxing skills, which meant getting one of the best boxing trainers in the world to show me the ropes, so to speak. I worked with Matt Bayamonte to make sure Bourne's skills were top-notch. Here's a look at some of the work that went into making Bourne a bare-knuckle boxer. You find him in a very dark place at the beginning of the movie.
He's growing increasingly unable to live off the grid. And in the end, he's driven to express that torment through underground fighting circuits.
You get a sense that he's doing this not out of any kind of healthy desire to, to compete with other athletes or anything like that. He's got all of these demons and he's tortured and he's suffering. So Paul wanted to construct something that was a physical manifestation of that.
Talking to Paul and Matt of, okay, what have you been doing for the last 9 years? Why are you in this position and state?
So he finds himself in another world where it's not necessarily only tactical. It's actually in a situation where he's competing for money.
There was 2 bare-knuckle fights to start off with. The first one was like a bigger fight, and then when we got there on the day, we started talking. What if he just comes in and just one blow just takes the guy out completely?
He was going to go down to the floor.
And Matt loved the idea of it.
Doing a little bare-knuckle fighting. He's basically pounding other human beings into oblivion and getting pounded himself into oblivion just as a way to try to cope with the thoughts in his head that he can't get away from.
All right, shooting.
Matt is actually quite proficient already with the boxing. He has his own boxing coach.
I started boxing a little over 15 years ago for the first Bourne movie. The director, Doug Liman, said he wanted the character to walk like a boxer. And I was like, I don't even know what that means. And he said, I don't either, but there's something about the way those guys move. They're really economic in their movements. You can just tell that they're ready for anything. So I just started taking boxing lessons, and I loved it, and I felt like it was really helpful. Now it's been something I've been doing for 15 years, and it's just a lot of fun. I first started training in LA with a guy named Terry Claybon, who was incredible, and he was the first person to teach me. He worked with Denzel Washington on The Hurricane. And then when I moved to Miami, I was looking for someone, and what you really want to find is somebody who works with professional boxers, and Matt just works with a ton of fighters.
We're just going over some of the fight stuff that Roger came up with, and then some stuff that I kind of added in, just to get them warmed up and loose and ready to go.
Matt, his trainer, does a lot of training with him. Then Roger, the fight trainer, starts going through the choreography and stuff like that, and then we put the two together.
For me, everything that I try to do as a coordinator is to make sure that it's based in reality, that there's an application to every movement. And what I did was basically utilize the bare-knuckle boxing research that I've done, looking at YouTube and working with friends that have been doing it on their own.
Fight choreography is really like dancing. It really is. You have 2 people and they have to be doing, it's not a real fight, so they have to know exactly what the other person's doing to kind of sell every single move. And so you have to be completely in coordination.
The second bare-knuckle fight, which he did with a guy called Brian Nichols, was really amazing. The pair of them trained for weeks.
Brian's actually a bare-knuckle fighter. He's had professional fights before, and the guy is an absolute savage.
I'm like a rough old fighter. I don't know why they picked me, but they did.
And he starts warming up. I think the whole crowd gets nervous, even though they're really not hitting each other. He's got that intensity. You know, he's jumping around like a fighter in the ring. He's getting himself juiced up, and I'm like, he may actually hit somebody today.
All right, guys, enjoy. Roll sound. Backgrounds.
This is a perfect recreation. We have these fights in Miami all the time, which are underground, and you actually feel like you're in a fight. People are yelling, money's getting put up for bets, people are getting bloody, they're getting broken noses, broken jaws, losing teeth. It's perfect.
The atmosphere is fantastic. It just gives you a real buzz. It makes you feel like I'm back there. You know, I love it. I love it.
On my mark.
You didn't give him real beer, did you?
Not yet.
With boxing, there's obviously certain rules that you've got. You know, you can't punch below the belt, can't throw punches from behind. Here, you can pretty much do anything you want. You can gouge, bite, kick, stamp. So, you know, it's quite a bit different to what, say, Bourne's done in previous films and previous fights.
For me, it was an interesting kind of take because obviously he's doing something that is not normal in his world, but he's still training and to compete in a very, very bloody, ruthless game.
And then he comes and throws those two things and we lock up and he pushes me back in here. And that's the moment when we see each other.
I saw it as an opportunity to kind of hone his technique and yet still stay true to Bourne. With the Kali style, the dirty boxing, the Filipino style, the Wing Chun, and the tactical CQC.
Matt Damon has been absolutely fantastic, easy to work with and great mover. As you'll see, Matt's in great shape. He's in really good shape, he's fit, and then he keeps going, he just keeps going.
It is a dance, and that timing and the fluidity and moving with Matt without hurting each other was a very, very important part of that, as well as making it look as realistic as possible. And at the same time, both Matt and Brian, you know, and I told them, give each other some love, meaning at this point, if you're hitting to the body, yeah, go ahead and make a little contact. And Matt was, you know, he's brilliant, you know, and he was, as people will see, he really, really trained up for it and was in great shape for it.
With Brian, like everybody, I always tell them, I'm going to hit you. Like, I'm not purposely, but I know that we're going really fast and choreography is really specific, but, you know, accidents happen. And for these guys, accidents don't happen. I rarely get hit, but I'm always accidentally hitting someone. But my deal with these guys is I always buy them a bottle of champagne for every time I hit them. So Brian, for instance, got a case of champagne at the end of the fight. And for these guys who are pro fighters, like, I'm not hitting them that hard, so they actually like the bargain. It's actually good for them. They've been hit for less in their lives, so they don't mind.
Set and back.
They put like 200% into it. I mean, they really did look like they was beating the crap out of each other.